and they have to come and follow the government's the communication initiative. And the first thing that happens is that as we approach the bill itself, we get depressed. Yes, most of you who are coming here every day will come also you coming in the local feedback. And I just wanted to formally now say, as we promised, since we took over, that change which will reflect in the way this ministry looks is now on the way. The bidding process, independent and very critical and transparent bidding process. And we'll make sure the right entity is chosen to do the work we want to do here, so that at the end of the day, when you see this place, and you convince that we've done a great job. It's an intervention that we're interested in, and we're not going to walk back on those interventions. In the coming days, we will have more details to give you. But before we get ready to do the details, we just thought that we needed to be, especially from the perspective of the Ministry of Information, we thought we needed to be proactive, and we thought that we need to do our best to be open and not dive into secrecy. So we thought it's important to first announce to you, members of the press and the Liberian people, the actions are being taken. And let me just give you some perspective first. This year, Nigeria will celebrate 177 years of existence. Many of the countries around us got their independence in the 60s. We're talking about 1847. Many of them are pretty young. But for those of you who had a chance to travel, and you are Liberian, some way, somehow, you got to be ashamed when you see what your country is in 177 years compared to some countries that are just maybe 40 years old, 30, and so forth. So President Waka is firmly committed to changing this ugly history of our country. Many of you who come from far places, I guess some of you journalists here, you're from Riverses. If you wanted to go to Riverses, even with the intervention we're making to keep our roads passable, though it's still a difficult journey. If you come from Buffalo County and you wanted to go there now, you know what it is. How can a country be 177 years old and still so much so disconnected? Small as the country is, traveling. Let me really appeal to you people. It's a 2-minute distraction when the press conferences are going, and immediately comes from Mika Star. But I'll stop them moving around. So we got to think about this. And if there's anybody who's thinking deeply about that and who's concerned and wants to solve this problem, it's President Waka. The Foreign Well Minister, I have listened to him of late, just this morning again, and he has explained the interventions they are making everywhere. And he has assured all of us, including myself, who speaks for the government, that the Waka administration will not leave this country without all of our country capitals being connected with people. He's said to be a legacy president. Pavement work has been ongoing between Ganta to Taketa. And he just announced that immediately we approach the dry season, the pavement from that point straight trying to link the rest of the country to Kawikin, where the road coming from Akosa have reached. And that he was clear that subsequently you will be able to drive on a paved road from Monrovia straight to Harper, Maryland County. But we realize that while those processes are on, the country has to be accessible. And that is linked to the president, no car gets stuck in a mud mantra. So I just wanted to say, as I explain this, that beginning today, the earth-moving equipments that were meant to keep our roads passable have started to arrive. It will take you a couple of trips because of the nature of our port, which restricts to some extent the size of vessels that can berth at the port, especially talking about vessels bringing such heavy earth-moving equipment. So it will take a couple of trips. And taking a couple of trips will mean a couple of weeks or probably months. But the good news is the arrival process has started. What is that supposed to mean for our country? Maintenance zones would exist in all of our counties. All. 4 of those counties will have 2 maintenance zones because of their size. Nimba, Lofa, Bong, and Bassa. You have 2 maintenance zones. Estimated around 19 pieces of earth-moving equipment per zone. You can imagine what that would be. A complete revolution. And until those roads are paved, what that also means is that we can travel in and out of our country, everywhere around our country, with absolute ease. But here's the most important part. The roads are good and the commitment is unwavering. But here's another good part about these machines. Many of our people in rural Liberia are farmers. They use so much energy to brush farms, cut down trees, and do all kinds of stuff. The government's commitment and plan is that a set of those equipment that will be deployed for the country will be set aside to enhance the efficiency of farmers. So, for example, Jeremy Pia is a farmer in somewhere in Grand Bassa County, doesn't have to be worried about cutting or breaking his farm. Those machines from government will make those interventions. You see your farmland clear with no cost to you. You just got to focus on planting your crops. What a revolution that is. It will enhance and improve food production in addition to enabling us to be able to travel freely in and around of our country. And let me just say some of the stuff on the road as we're talking about that. I'll run over there because sometimes the detractors will keep themselves busy trying to convince people who don't need to be convinced. Some looking for old pictures of years back of cars stuck in mobs and putting it around Facebook. Who are you misleading? If you post something like that, you say this is, for example, the road into Grandville. The folks who live in Grandville, they are aware that they're even using keke on the road. You think you're fooling yourselves. Because the man who's experiencing the thing you're trying to mislead him. Some people who posting those things, they've not left Monrovia for the past 5 years. They don't even know how outside of Monrovia Road. But they're trying to tell the man who's living there, the man who is getting into a keke from one point to another, they're trying to tell the man this is what the condition looks like to where you are. You're destroying your credibility. Nobody will take you serious. On the foundation of your engagement is all about lies. Nobody takes you serious. So we just say sometimes widely and say let them go ahead and destroy themselves. And the Honorable Minister listened to him this morning, he said, look, asphalt pavement starts from Tapeta to Zwedru. And then the fish town, that's about 375 kilometers. And that starts, according to him, at the end of this year. That's when all the plenty of rain will start. And I say it will run straight into 2025. So finally, Maryland County will be connected to Monrovia by paved roads, he says. Banga to Salagi will be completed by May next year. I'm not talking about putting Caterpillar to pay around, I'm talking about asphalt pavement. And then the discussion for the extension to Konya is also, Banjima is probably ongoing. But it's clear that those entire corridors will be connected before President Wada leaves power. What a legacy president he will be. 4 feasibility studies is being conducted by the African Development Bank from Banjima to Foya to Melikoma. And this will set the stage for sourcing the funding in the bank. And I mean the African Development Bank is likely a potential funder for that section of the road. They've been doing a great job in the southeast. Most of the pavement you see going is by the African Development Bank. They are still engaged with us. For the much talk about Coastal Highway that was heralded by the past administration, we're supposed to move from Ikana to Sesta and to Greenville. Feasibility study is ongoing, which means it's a target by the government as well. Look, what you all will be experiencing is something that I would want to describe as a spokesperson of the government as a development vuvuzela. You are accepted. But if it pains you, labor the pains. I mean, something got to be wrong, right? Some people just get angry of good news in their country. Because they're not there. Good things are not supposed to happen when you are in charge. So for the sake of your political dissatisfaction, the country should remain down until it's you. It means you're thinking about yourselves, not the people. If your goal is about the people, doesn't matter whether you in charge or not. Oh, I remember when President Selu came to power. I come from Grand Bassa, by the way. It used to take me 5 hours from Monrovia to Ikana. The road was non-existent. When that situation changed, I was in Ikana every weekend. So we got to embrace the transformation of our country. And by the special grace of God, we've got a president now who's ready to lead the charge and who has been able to recruit able lieutenants, competent and dedicated, helping him lead that change. I mean, that police square there. How many of you in there or here who been covering the ministry from Charlie Kington? And I feel good that under the Baka administration, you got a minister who changed the whole place in 1 year. Not in again. Also, Madam was saying that's what happened because you're not there. You know how? I went there before I know that deputy minister, acting minister. You know how we fought to change the building to just repair? It didn't work. But from the experience of that time, if I see a leader today who has stood by the team and is not ensuring that teaching that has not happened in decades and decades and decades and decades happening in 1 year, if it does not convince you that we are marching to Zion, it does for me. And all of you should be stakeholders. Sometimes, some of you, many of you are good people, but some of the media entities just paint negativity, creating one story after the other. And sometimes no regret, even if you find the facts that this story here is not correct, yeah, the man will still stand by his story. There's somebody who has reported that Jeremy Pia is dead. Then he walks, he comes and you see the man living. He told me you say, I still stand by my story. What kind of generation that? And that brings me to what looks like a smear campaign against the Minister of Labor. And we don't take this thing to say that personal issue yet may handle it. If somebody is an official of the government, if they're doing something wrong, and you report it, we embrace it because we want you to help us to find people who are doing bad. But if it is just an attempt to smear people campaign, then we are under obligation to talk about it, not necessarily as a defense for the person, just to put things in context. The suggestion that Councillor Cry is involved in quote-unquote conflict of interest. And that is because the law firm that is supposed to be representing the NPA, Cry is supposed to be linked to that law firm. First of all, the law firm in question was established in 1944. It was established by the late Speaker of the House of Representatives, Richard Henrys. In 2001, that law firm entered a retainership with the National Port Authority. And there's a retainership between you and somebody that when they represent your legal interests. And even in the last 6 years, that retainership was there. In the very last 6 years, Councillor Cry was the minister in the government. Nobody saw that one. But even though the law firm is called Henry Cry and something else, that Cry is not Councillor Cooper Cry. Councillor Cry family is a family that can wake up in the morning, they have law for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. So beyond his daughter, who is also in White, I don't know whether she has graduated already, called Colinia, he has a son called Prince Cry, who's a lawyer, who is an associate of the law firm. And he has been there since 2001. So how now a retainership that has existed since that time is now supposed to be because of people cry headed of quote unquote conflict of interest? And this is coming on the wheels of a group of persons who were dismissed by the NPA management, going to court, suing for over $1 million damage, and the case thrown out of the court by the civil law court. So no, Councillor Cry, the Minister of Labor, is not involved in any conflict of interest because the retainership between the NPA and the law firm predates him. It even predates his involvement as a minister in the Weah government. How can that then be an issue now? Can it appear to just be talking everything, Councillor Cry? The man was sent to be just a minister, Councillor Cry. What is Councillor Cry? If you find a real issue with him, bring it out. If you not found one, start working the problem. This is just not right. That our journalism be based on truth because it helps the country. As we are aware, our Vice President, the Honorable Jeremiah Kwan is currently in Barcelona, Spain. And he's attending the Africa Energy Forum. Updates we received from the Vice President and his team at the meeting is that the World Bank announced the approval of a disbursement of 45 million for Liberia's renewable energy program. Renewable energy, as we all know, is basically about solar energy, which is environmentally safe. And even probably where we don't have any LEC, everything has to be a generator on. It's making noise in my ear, but it's also making smoke. Solar energy solves that problem. There's a focus to invest in solar energy. And 45 million from the World Bank towards such a project. It's good that we celebrate that. And for all the announcements signifies a major step forward in our quest to advance renewable energy in Liberia. The project will finance the first 20 megawatt solar photo project in the expansion of the Mount Coffee hydro plant, increasing the capacity from 88 megawatts to 129 megawatts. It will really significantly solve our energy problem. The total budget for the project is at around 96 million, and the initial contribution in this amount is something that we celebrate as a country. We want to thank the Vice President, who was ably representing our country in Spain for the push. Asset declaration. I mean, we just want to say a little bit about it because sometimes we don't celebrate the good things. President Bouaka, upon coming to power, I think it was 3 weeks, declared his asset. When you read the asset declaration, you realize that as the law requires, he signed his asset declaration prior to being inaugurated as president.